Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the week of December 30th. All right, my loves. Full disclosure, Cancer is my rising sign. So, as I'm saying some of these things to you, know I'm also saying them to myself. Okay, so as I'm working with my guides, which I always do and start with that before I pull the cards, the image that they gave me was of you on a bamboo raft. The bamboo raft, you're laying there and it's in this beautiful, beautiful pale aquamarine ocean, and you're lying there seemingly unaware of the fact that you're actually only up to your mid-thigh in water. You're on the raft, and as the image progresses, it's when the water is calm and it's going on nicely, you're quite content to be there. When it starts getting a little bit rough and the water sloshes up, then it's hard to negotiate a comfortable position on this bamboo raft. It's kind of like you can slide into it or maybe get caught a little bit. It's just not comfortable when the water starts getting choppy. And yet you won't get off the raft. You could get off the raft. You could even pull the raft with you into shore, but you don't get off the raft. You just stay on there. It's like you don't even realize you have an option. Now, this is how I see you having lived emotion, not realizing you had an option. And the thing is, when we look at water symbolically as being emotion, deep emotion, Cancer sign is very comfortable with emotion, even if the emotion is uncomfortable. It is a water sign. It's a very, very deep water sign. Remember, the symbol associated with Cancer is a crab, and crabs live very deep. Water is very deep. Cancer is very deep, I should say. So what I'm looking at here is you come by I don't want to say the intention, but the proclivity to stay in emotion, quite naturally, because that's the energy. That is the watery energy, and that's very much the Cancer watery energy. Very empathic, very aware of what's going on emotionally, very aware of the emotional currents that are going on, often underlying, and often very much developed in childhood as a way to kind of stay a little bit more stable so that they know what might be coming up. The thing is, Cancer, what you will sometimes do as a way to create a sense of solidity in the midst of all this emotion is you can actually start creating stories in your head where you will call up a fiery energy. So the fiery energy might be things like getting into judgment around people, or having fights in your head, or just generally calling up situations that have made you angry, or even very creatively things that could potentially make you angry. Now, this is very often something any sign will do as a way to stay out of insecurity. The thing with Cancer is there is inherently a quality of insecurity in the Cancer sign because it is water-based. But what you're being shown here is you are literally like 3 feet from the shore, and you are not deep. You're not in deep water. You're not in any danger. You can actually decide to change your way of thinking so that you can be secure without having to go into barriers instead of boundaries, where you don't have to constantly feel as though you need to defend yourself. Because often what will happen is if there's a level of insecurity around where you sit emotionally with any particular situation, there can be a tendency to go into preventative self-defense. And that, I feel, is something we want to take you out of, because in the process of doing that, sometimes what you'll do is you will attack people who do not deserve to be attacked, even if it's only in your own mind. But Have you ever had those dreams where you have a dream that somebody has cheated on you or been mean to you or something, and you wake up and you're really irritated with them, even though they have done nothing? It's all been in your head. Well, we can do that in a waking state as well. So you're being asked to really take a look at that. Because Cancer is very watery, obviously very fluid, sometimes because there does not appear to be a strong structure for them. If there's nothing else in their chart, well, let's not even just talk chart, in their energetic prakriti, in their energetic foundation, as Ayurveda would look at it, if there is not enough other elements to really ground them, it can lead them to be a lot more, shall we say, perhaps emotionally less competent in managing intensity of emotion, and can lead to overwhelm. Now, also in that context, even if they have other grounding elements, if those elements have not been balanced and securely integrated into the personality, it can have the same effect. So you can have a ton of earth along with a key water sign and still have that lack of security and that tendency to be watery all over the place. For you, my loves, what I would say is this: look at where you may have developed a certain quality of pain as a kid that led you to feel as though you needed to proactively defend yourself, that led you fearful of taking steps to manage your own raft, that perhaps felt disempowered in doing that or unaware of how to do that because the emotions were so overwhelming. You have the ability, truly the ability. Now, what it's showing is it's only been because of your lack of awareness of your potential power and your ability to ground yourself that sometimes emotions have gotten the better of you. And now it is so time for you to land and to really let yourself be aware of the choices that you're making and realizing, Cancer, you are strong. You are very strong, and you have the ability to make new choices. You have the ability to decide where you're going to let your head go. And that is how you're going to learn how to manage your emotions so they don't overwhelm you. It's very important for you to have quiet time alone with yourself so that you get in touch with your emotions and out of touch with other people's emotions. That's part of the way you nurture. That's part of the way you learn how to contain and understand your emotions, because largely it's understanding them and becoming aware of them and how they're operating with you that you are able to learn how to manage, and you can. Okay? So for now, I will say that's what I'm going to leave you with, Cancer. Compassion for yourself when you find yourself doing that internal self-defense that isn't necessary, and realize that part of the reason you're doing that is because it's bringing up a fiery energy to kind of compensate for feeling perhaps a little watery and a little bit out of control with something. Okay? It might only be temporary, but I would bet for many of you, this is kind of your go-to place when you get frightened of something, is that you'll go into defense mode, and often with no provocation other than your own fear. Okay? So check that out. Like, share, subscribe. All of that is greatly appreciated. And I'm going to leave you that for now, and I'll be back next week. Thank you. Bye.